Hey Pisces, I need to share something with you today, and honestly, the energy coming through these cards is making me pause. I just pulled the first card, and I need you to really hear what the universe is showing us about what's happening around you right now. So I'm looking at the Ten of Swords, and you know what? This card doesn't show up without reason. When this card appears in a reading about people plotting behind your back, it tells us about absolute betrayal energy. Someone in your circle or multiple people have been working overtime to take you down. The Ten of Swords represents that final stab in the back. That moment when someone goes beyond just being difficult and actually tries to completely destroy what you've built. The imagery on this card is stark because it needs to be. 10 swords plunged into someone's back isn't subtle, and neither is what's been happening to you. What I'm seeing here is that these people, whoever they are in your life, they've been systematic about this. They didn't just wake up one day and decide to cause problems. No, this has been calculated. The Ten of Swords shows me planning, coordination, maybe even meetings or conversations where your name came up and strategies were discussed. Think about it like this. When you see 10 of anything in tarot, it's completion. It's the fullest expression of that suit's energy. In Swords, which is all about thoughts, communication, and mental energy, having 10 of them pointed at you means someone has exhausted every mental trick, every verbal manipulation, every possible angle to bring you down. But here's what's fascinating about this card in your reading today. The Ten of Swords also represents an ending. These people may have thrown everything they had at you, but this is their final shot. They've used up all their ammunition. The sky in the traditional imagery is often starting to lighten on the horizon, because after the darkest moment comes the dawn. So while yes, there has been this concentrated effort to harm you, to sabotage your path, to spread lies or create obstacles, they're actually at the end of their power, not the beginning of it. I want you to think about your life right now. Has there been someone who seemed overly interested in your business? Someone who asked too many questions? Who always seemed to know things they shouldn't know? Who showed up in spaces where you didn't expect them? The Ten of Swords is pointing to surveillance energy. These aren't people who casually dislike you. These are individuals who have made you their project. They've studied your moves, waited for vulnerable moments, gathered information. It's actually disturbing when you think about the amount of energy someone has to invest to reach Ten of Swords level betrayal. And the phrase from your reading theme, they challenged God, this is exactly what the Ten of Swords represents. These people didn't just come after you. They came after the divine protection around you, the blessings on your life, the path that the universe has set for you. When someone operates at this level of malice, they're not just fighting you as a person. They're fighting against your destiny, your purpose, your divine right to peace and success. That's why this card showed up first. The universe wants you to understand the spiritual magnitude of what's been occurring. But I'm also seeing something else with the Ten of Swords. There's a strange stillness to this card. After all the chaos of the attack, there's this moment of absolute clarity. You're going to see these people for exactly who they are. The masks are going to fall. The Ten of Swords brings revelation with it. All the sneaking around, all the fake smiles, all the pretense is about to shatter. You know how sometimes you have this gut feeling about someone, but you can't quite prove it, you can't quite put your finger on what's wrong? The Ten of Swords is that moment when suddenly everything clicks into place, and you see the whole picture with devastating clarity. I pulled the Six of Pentacles next, and wow, the contrast here is telling me something powerful about karma and divine justice. After seeing the Ten of Swords, getting the Six of Pentacles is like the universe saying, I see everything, and I'm about to balance the scales. This card traditionally shows someone in a position of power or abundance, sharing resources, giving to those who have less. It's about balance, fairness, and the flow of energy coming back into equilibrium. What strikes me about the Six of Pentacles in this position is that it's showing me these people who came after you. They're about to experience a very specific kind of karma. See, the Six of Pentacles isn't about dramatic lightning strikes or towers crumbling. It's about resources, support, opportunities, and blessings being redistributed. While they were busy plotting against you, using their time, energy, and resources to tear you down, the universe was watching and taking notes. The Six of Pentacles shows me that you've been generous. Even when you didn't have much, even when you were struggling, you helped others. You shared what you had. You supported people. You gave your time, your energy, your resources without expecting massive returns. And that energy has been accumulating in your cosmic bank account. Meanwhile, these wolves in your life, they've been taking and scheming and hoarding and manipulating. The scales are completely unbalanced. And the Six of Pentacles is the universe's way of saying it's time to correct that. Here's what I'm seeing for you specifically. Financial blessings are coming your way, but not just money. Resources in general. This could be people with influence deciding to help you. This could be opportunities opening up that were previously blocked. This could be information coming to you that you need. The Six of Pentacles operates on the principle of right exchange, of giving to those who have given, of supporting those who have supported others. You're about to receive help from unexpected sources. And simultaneously, those people who have been working against you, the Six of Pentacles is showing me their resources starting to dry up, not because of anything you're doing, but because the universe doesn't continue to bless people who use their blessings to harm others. Think about it like this. If someone gives you money and you use that money to hire someone to sabotage your neighbor, do you think more money is going to flow to you? The Six of Pentacles says no. The flow gets cut off. The support systems start to crumble. The people who are helping them start to distance themselves. I'm also seeing with this card that truth is a resource, and you're about to be given the resource of truth. The Six of Pentacles can indicate information being shared, secrets being revealed, evidence coming to light. Someone who knows what's been happening might come forward. Documents might surface. Messages might be seen. The universe is generous with truth when it's time for justice to be served. What I find really interesting about the Six of Pentacles in tarot is that it shows a figure who has the power to give or withhold. They're literally holding the scales, deciding who receives and who doesn't. In your situation, this tells me that a higher power, whether you call it God, the universe, karma, or divine justice, is in that position right now. These people may have thought they had power over you, but the Six of Pentacles is showing me they're about to learn who really holds the power. And it's not them. There's also an element of public witnessing with the Six of Pentacles. This card often shows the exchange happening in view of others. Your vindication isn't going to be private. The restoration of balance isn't going to happen in a corner where no one sees. People are going to witness you being blessed. People are going to see resources and opportunities coming to you. And those same people are going to notice when the flow stops going to those who worked against you. The Six of Pentacles is very much about the community seeing who the universe favors. Now I drew the Six of Wands, and I have to tell you, this card right after the Six of Pentacles is like the universe doubling down on the message. The Six of Wands is pure victory energy. This is the card of public recognition, of overcoming obstacles, of being celebrated for your achievements. When this card shows up in a reading about people plotting against you, it's telling me that not only are you going to survive their schemes, you're going to thrive in spite of them. The Six of Wands traditionally shows someone riding through a crowd, being celebrated, holding a wand high with a victory wreath on it. Everyone is cheering. Everyone is acknowledging this person's success. After everything we've seen with the Ten of Swords and the betrayal energy, the Six of Wands is showing me your comeback story. These people tried to destroy your reputation, your opportunities, your peace of mind. The Six of Wands says they failed spectacularly. What I'm really picking up on with this card is that your success is going to be the thing that bothers them most. See, they could have lived their lives, focused on their own growth, worked on their own goals. Instead, they made you their focus. They invested all this time and energy trying to bring you down. And the Six of Wands is showing me that while they were obsessing over you, you were actually building something real. You were developing your skills, working on your goals, staying true to your path. And now that's about to pay off in visible public ways. The Six of Wands is telling me about achievements that can't be denied. This isn't subjective success. This is the kind of win where even people who don't like you have to acknowledge what you've accomplished. Maybe it's a promotion everyone knows about. Maybe it's a project that gets recognized publicly. Maybe it's a personal victory that people witness. Whatever form it takes, the Six of Wands says your light is about to shine so bright that these people can't pretend it's not happening. And here's the thing about the Six of Wands that makes it particularly powerful in this reading. It's not just about you winning, it's about Wei Chou sees you winning. The crowd in the card matters. These are the same people who may have heard rumors about you, who may have witnessed the attacks, who may have even wondered if what these plotters were saying had truth to it. The Six of Wands is your public vindication. It's the universe showing everyone who was watching that you were the real deal all along. I'm also getting that the Six of Wands represents leadership energy coming through for you. You're going to be in a position where people look up to you, where your opinion matters, where you're setting the standard. This is going to kill these people who tried to diminish you. They wanted to make you small, to push you into the shadows, to make everyone doubt you. Instead, the Six of Wands is putting you on a horse at the front of the parade. You can't get more visible than that. There's also a message here about confidence. The figure in the Six of Wands isn't tentative or apologetic. They're holding that victory wand high with pride. After everything you've been through with these people attacking you, the Six of Wands is telling me it's time to own your success without shrinking it to make others comfortable. You've been through the battle represented by the Ten of Swords. You've survived. Now the Six of Wands says it's time to claim your victory without apology. The Eight of Cups just came through, and this card is showing me something crucial about these people's psychology and what's about to happen to them. The Eight of Cups is traditionally about walking away from something that no longer serves you, leaving behind what's emotionally unfulfilling, choosing the harder path of seeking true meaning over staying comfortable with what's familiar but empty. In the context of people who have been plotting against you, this card is revealing their inner state and their upcoming crisis. What I'm seeing is that these people are operating from a place of profound emptiness. The Eight of Cups shows someone who has cups stacked up behind them, 8 of them, representing emotional investments, relationships, situations they've built. But they're walking away because none of it fills the void inside them. These wolves who came after you, they're not attacking you because you did something to them. They're attacking you because they're hollow inside, and your light, your growth, your peace makes that hollowness unbearable for them to face. Think about it. Someone who is genuinely fulfilled, who has real emotional satisfaction in their life, who has authentic connections and true purpose, that person doesn't spend their time plotting against others. They're too busy enjoying what they have. The Eight of Cups is showing me that these people have been running from their own emptiness by making you the villain in their story. It's easier to focus on destroying someone else than to face the fact that nothing in their life actually makes them happy. But here's where this gets really interesting. The Eight of Cups is about that moment when you can't run anymore, when the emptiness catches up with you, when you've tried everything to avoid looking at the truth of your life and nothing works anymore. These people are heading toward their own Eight of Cups moment. All the scheming against you, all the drama they created, all the energy they invested in trying to harm you, it's not going to fill that void. And they're going to have to face that. The Eight of Cups also shows me abandonment energy. These people might start abandoning each other. When a plot fails, when the person you were all ganging up on actually succeeds, suddenly everyone starts pointing fingers at everyone else. The solidarity that existed when they thought they were winning is going to crumble when they realize they've lost. The Eight of Cups says people are going to start walking away from this whole toxic situation. Alliances will break. Friend groups will split. People will distance themselves from the ringleaders. I'm also picking up that some of these people are going to have genuine moments of reflection. The Eight of Cups is a card of spiritual seeking, of looking for deeper meaning. Not everyone who participated in coming after you is evil to the core. Some got caught up in group dynamics, in mob mentality, in following someone more manipulative. Those people, when they hit their Eight of Cups moment, they're going to look back and feel genuine shame about what they participated in. Some might even reach out to apologize. though the Eight of Cups suggests they might do it from a distance, not expecting forgiveness, just needing to acknowledge the wrong. The moon in the Eight of Cups imagery is significant. It represents intuition, the subconscious, things hidden in darkness. These people are going to have dreams about what they've done. They're going to have those 3 a.m. moments where they can't sleep because their conscience is bothering them. The things they buried, the justifications they made, the lies they told themselves about why it was okay to treat you this way, all of that is going to come up under that Eight of Cups moon, and they're going to have to deal with it. What I find particularly fitting about the Eight of Cups in this reading is that it represents the loneliness that comes with leaving. These people are going to end up alone with their thoughts, alone with their choices, alone with the consequences. They made community about tearing someone down rather than building each other up. The Eight of Cups says that kind of community doesn't last. It dissolves. And they're going to find themselves standing alone, looking at the wreckage of relationships built on toxicity. The Empress showed up, and I need to pause here because this card is absolutely gorgeous in this position. After all the heaviness of betrayal and scheming, the Empress comes through representing pure creative power, abundance, nurturing energy, and fertility of all kinds. In your reading, Pisces, the Empress is telling me that while these people were focused on destruction, you've been in a creative phase that they completely underestimated. The Empress is Mother Nature energy. She's unstoppable growth. She's the force that pushes flowers through concrete, that turns tiny seeds into massive trees, that creates life in places where it shouldn't be possible. These people looked at you and saw vulnerability, saw someone they could push around, saw someone whose light they could extinguish. The Empress is laughing at that assumption. You're not a candle they can blow out. You're a whole forest growing, and they brought little scissors to try to stop you. What I'm really feeling with the Empress is that you've been building something. Maybe it's literal, like a business, a creative project, a home, something tangible in the physical world. Or maybe it's internal, like healing, self-development, spiritual growth. Either way, the Empress represents something that's been gestating, developing, growing, while all this drama was happening around you. And it's almost ready to birth into the world. The Empress is showing me that your power isn't in fighting these people directly. Your power is in creation. While they were busy with destruction, you were busy with construction. While they were tearing down, you were building up. While they were focused on you, you were focused on your vision. And the Empress says, what you've been creating is about to come into full bloom in a way that completely changes the game. There's also a message here about nurturing and receiving nurturing. The Empress is the ultimate nurturer, but she also knows how to receive. I'm seeing that you might have people in your life, or people coming into your life, who genuinely want to support you. Not because they want something from you, not because they're gathering information, but because they recognize your worth and they want to see you flourish. The Empress is telling me to let them help you, let them nurture you. You've been in survival mode dealing with these attacks. The Empress says it's time to let yourself be cared for by people who genuinely love you. The abundance aspect of the Empress cannot be overstated in this reading. This card is literally about abundance, resources flowing, opportunities multiplying, ideas generating more ideas, money attracting more money, success building on success. After the Six of Pentacles and the Six of Wands, the Empress is like the universe saying, you thought those blessings were big? Wait until you see what else I have for you. The Empress doesn't do scarcity. She doesn't do barely enough. She does overflow. And here's what's beautiful about the Empress in the context of people who tried to harm you. The Empress represents security that can't be taken away. They tried to undermine you, but the Empress is showing me you're rooted in something deeper than what they can touch. Your worth isn't based on their opinion. Your abundance isn't dependent on their approval. Your growth isn't limited by their attacks. The Empress is connected to the earth itself. You can't uproot that. I'm also getting strong feminine energy from the Empress, and this might mean different things depending on your situation. It could be literal women coming to your support. It could be you embracing your own feminine power, whether you're male or female, that receptive, creative, intuitive energy. It could be mother figures, female mentors, women in power who notice you and decide to help. The Empress suggests that feminine energy is going to play a key role in your victory and restoration. The Nine of Swords appeared, and honestly, this card is revealing what's happening in the minds of these people who challenge divine order by coming after you. The Nine of Swords is the nightmare card, the anxiety card, the 3 a.m. wide awake worrying card. While you're entering this Empress energy of abundance and creation, they're entering the Nine of Swords energy of mental torment. What I'm seeing with the Nine of Swords is that these people cannot find peace. Their minds are attacking them now. The very thing they used as a weapon against you, their thoughts, their words, their mental machinations, it's all turned inward and they're destroying themselves from the inside. The Nine of Swords shows someone sitting up in bed, head in hands, surrounded by swords that represent tormenting thoughts. This is what guilt looks like. This is what karma looks like when it operates on the mental plane. Think about what happens when you build your whole identity around taking someone else down, and then that person not only survives but thrives. Your entire mental framework collapses. The Nine of Swords is showing me these people questioning everything. Did we make a mistake? Why didn't it work? What's wrong with us that we couldn't stop them? Why are they succeeding while we're falling apart? These thoughts are on repeat in their minds, and there's no escape from it. The Nine of Swords also represents the terror of consequences catching up with you. These people are starting to realize that actions have repercussions. The things they said, the plots they made, the harm they intended, it's all going to come back to them. And the Nine of Swords is that moment before the hammer falls when you know it's coming, but it hasn't hit yet. That anticipation, that dread, that's its own form of torture. I'm picking up that some of these people are losing sleep, literally. They're having stress-related health issues. Their anxiety is affecting their daily functioning. The Nine of Swords doesn't just stay in your head, it manifests in your body. Tension headaches, stomach problems, exhaustion from not sleeping well, irritability, inability to concentrate. They're falling apart and everyone around them is starting to notice. What's particularly fitting about the Nine of Swords in this reading is that it represents self-created suffering. The swords surrounding the figure in the card aren't being held by someone else. They're just there, in the mental space, products of the person's own thoughts. These people created this situation. They chose to come after you. They invested energy in trying to harm you, and now they're reaping the mental anguish that comes from that choice. The Nine of Swords is showing me that they can't blame anyone but themselves, and that realization is part of what's torturing them. There's also an element with the Nine of Swords about isolation in suffering. When you're dealing with the Nine of Swords energy, you feel like you're alone with your torment. These people might be surrounded by others, might even still be in communication with fellow conspirators, but the Nine of Swords says each of them is alone in their own mental hell. They can't share this burden. They can't make it lighter by talking about it, because talking about it means admitting what they did. So they suffer in silence, each one isolated in their own nightmare. The guilt represented by the Nine of Swords isn't the kind that leads to immediate change and repentance. It's the kind that eats at you, that makes you defensive, that might even make you lash out more, because facing the truth is too painful. Some of these people might actually get worse before they get better, because the Nine of Swords can make people irrational in their desperation to escape the mental anguish. Page of Wands comes through next, and this card is so telling about what's being revealed and the energy shift that's happening. The Page of Wands is the messenger, the bringer of news, the spark of new beginnings, the enthusiastic explorer who sees possibilities everywhere. In the context of your reading about people plotting behind your back, the Page of Wands is showing me that information is coming to light, and it's happening in unexpected ways. Pages in tarot are often young people, or people new to a situation, people who don't have a lot at stake yet, and therefore are more likely to tell the truth. I'm seeing the Page of Wands as someone who knows what's been going on and they're going to talk. Maybe it's someone younger who was on the periphery of these plots and their conscience is bothering them. Maybe it's someone new who came into the situation and immediately saw how wrong it was. Maybe it's someone who was supposed to be recruited into the scheme, but instead decided to warn you. The Page of Wands brings messages, and this message is going to be illuminating. But the Page of Wands isn't just about receiving information. It's also about your own fresh start, your own new adventure that's about to begin. After everything with the Empress energy building, the Page of Wands is like the first green shoot breaking through the soil. It's the moment when potential becomes visible. These people were so focused on stopping your progress that they didn't realize they couldn't stop your destiny. The Page of Wands says a new chapter is starting for you, and it's going to be exciting. What I love about the Page of Wands is the pure enthusiasm of this card. This is someone who hasn't been beaten down by cynicism yet, who still believes in possibilities, who gets excited about new ideas. After dealing with these toxic people and their heavy, destructive energy, the Page of Wands is like a breath of fresh air coming into your life. You're going to feel inspired again. You're going to feel that creative spark that these people tried to extinguish. You're going to feel excited about your path forward. The Page of Wands also represents courage, specifically the courage that comes from not yet knowing how hard things can be. It's the courage of innocence in the best sense. You might be inspired to take risks you wouldn't have taken before, to speak truths you would have kept quiet about, to pursue dreams you had shelved. The Page of Wands energy is contagious. Once you start feeling it, it spreads to other areas of your life. I'm also seeing with the Page of Wands that this card represents learning and education. You're going to learn something important from this whole experience with these people. Not in a "they taught me a valuable lesson" way that gives them credit they don't deserve, but in a "I've learned things about human nature, about protecting myself, about recognizing red flags" way. The Page of Wands is a student, and you've been in the school of hard knocks. But unlike these people who are failing the lessons represented by the Nine of Swords, you're actually learning and growing. There's a playfulness to the Page of Wands that I think is important for you right now, Pisces. You've been in serious, heavy, protective mode dealing with these attacks. The Page of Wands is telling me it's okay to be playful again, to be spontaneous again, to not take everything so seriously. These people don't deserve the power to make your whole life feel like a battlefield. The Page of Wands is giving you permission to enjoy yourself again. The Four of Wands just showed up, and I actually got emotional for a second because this card is pure celebration, stability, and homecoming energy. The Four of Wands represents reaching a milestone, achieving something worth celebrating, and experiencing harmony and stability after a period of chaos. In your reading, after everything we've seen about betrayal and attacks, the Four of Wands is like the universe saying, it's time for your victory party. The Four of Wands traditionally shows a celebration scene, often a wedding or festival, with people dancing under a canopy of flowers and wands. It's community in the best sense, people genuinely happy for each other, celebrating together. After these wolves tried to isolate you and destroy your reputation, the Four of Wands is showing me you're about to experience real community, real celebration, real support from people who actually care about you. What strikes me about the Four of Wands in this position is that it represents completion of a foundational phase. The number 4 in tarot is about stability, structure, foundation. You've been building something solid, even while under attack. The Four of Wands says that foundation is now set. Whatever these people tried to shake loose, they couldn't. Your foundation is solid, and now you get to build upward from that stable base. The Four of Wands is also about homecoming in both literal and metaphorical senses. You might physically be creating or moving to a space that feels like true home. Or metaphorically, you're coming home to yourself, to your authentic nature, to the peace that these people tried to steal from you. The Four of Wands represents that moment when you walk into a space or into a version of yourself and you just know this is right, this is where you belong. I'm seeing celebration with the Four of Wands that's specifically about you. Not just random good things happening, but people actively celebrating your wins, your survival, your success. Think about graduation, weddings, achievement ceremonies. These are Four of Wands moments. People gather specifically to honor someone. That's what's coming for you. Your community, your real community, not these fake people who are plotting, is going to gather around you and celebrate you. The harmony aspect of the Four of Wands is significant after all the discord these people created. Where they brought chaos, the Four of Wands brings order. Where they brought conflict, the Four of Wands brings peace. Where they brought division, the Four of Wands brings unity. This card is showing me that the energy around you is shifting from turbulent to stable, from stressful to peaceful, from uncertain to secure. There's also something about the Four of Wands that suggests a pause to appreciate how far you've come. These people wanted you to focus only on problems, only on defending yourself, only on surviving. The Four of Wands says, stop and look at what you've actually accomplished despite their efforts. Look at what you've built. Look at what you've survived. Look at who you've become through this fire. The Four of Wands is that moment of gratitude and acknowledgement. Page of Swords arrived, and this card is fascinating because it represents exposure, truth-telling, and the energy of someone who sees through lies. Pages are messengers, and the Page of Swords specifically is the messenger of truth. The one who asks the questions no one else wants to ask. The one who points out what everyone else is pretending not to see. In your reading about people plotting behind your back, the Page of Swords represents the exposure phase. What I'm picking up with the Page of Swords is that someone is watching these people and taking notes. The Page of Swords has sharp eyes and a sharp mind. They notice inconsistencies. They catch people in lies. They remember what was said last week, and they notice when the story changes this week. This might be someone in your life who has been quietly observing the whole situation, and they're about to speak up with receipts. The Page of Swords can also represent you in this situation, specifically your mental clarity coming back after the fog of being under attack. When you're dealing with people plotting against you, especially as a Pisces who naturally wants to see the best in everyone, it can be hard to accept the truth about people's intentions. The Page of Swords is your discernment kicking in, your ability to see things as they are rather than as you wish they were, your willingness to call out what's wrong even if it's uncomfortable. There's an element of investigation with the Page of Swords. This card suggests things being looked into, evidence being gathered, patterns being documented. If these people did anything actionable, anything that crossed legal or professional lines, the Page of Swords indicates that's being examined now. Even if it's not legal investigation, it might be social investigation, people comparing notes, sharing their experiences. Realizing this pattern of behavior goes way back. The Page of Swords also represents swift communication. When this card appears, things start getting talked about quickly. Messages fly. Conversations happen. Truth spreads at the speed of text messages and social media. These people might have been able to control the narrative when everything was happening slowly, but the Page of Swords brings rapid communication that they can't keep up with or control. What I find really interesting about the Page of Swords is that this card represents intellectual courage. It takes guts to speak truth, especially when it goes against popular opinion or when it might make you a target. The Page of Swords has that courage. Whether it's you speaking up about what happened or someone else speaking up on your behalf or multiple people suddenly finding the courage to tell their truth. The Page of Swords indicates that silence is breaking. There's also a quality of strategy with the Page of Swords. This isn't emotional, reactive truth-telling. This is calculated, smart, well-timed exposure. The Page of Swords thinks before speaking. They plan. They choose the right moment and the right way to reveal what needs to be revealed. This suggests that when the truth comes out about what these people did, it's going to come out in a way that maximum people see it and understand it clearly. And finally, the World card appears as the 10th card in your reading. And I have to tell you, Pisces, this is the perfect conclusion to everything we've seen. The World is completion, fulfillment, cosmic justice, and the end of a major cycle. It's the last card of the major arcana, representing the highest achievement, the full circle moment. The universe itself, confirming that everything has worked out exactly as it should. After all the cards we've pulled about betrayal, plotting, and these people who challenge divine order by coming after you, the World card is the universe's final answer. It's saying, I've got this, it's handled, justice is complete, and you're entering a whole new level. The World card represents not just winning one battle, but completing an entire chapter of your soul's journey and graduating to the next level. What the World shows me is that this entire situation with these people, as painful as it's been, was actually part of your spiritual curriculum. You needed to learn certain lessons about boundaries, about discernment, about your own strength. You needed to see who people really are. You needed to develop spiritual muscles you didn't know you had. The World card confirms that you've passed this test with flying colors, and now you get to move on to challenges that are actually worthy of who you've become. The World card also represents recognition on the highest level. Not just people around you seeing your worth, but the universe itself, God, divine consciousness, whatever you call it, seeing you and saying, well done. The woman in the World card is dancing in the center of a cosmic wreath, surrounded by symbols of the 4 elements and the 4 fixed signs of the zodiac. She's supported by all of creation. That's you, Pisces. After these people tried to isolate you and tear you down, the world is showing me that you're held by forces so much bigger than their petty schemes. The completion aspect of the world is crucial here. These people, their plots, their attacks, their negative energy toward you, all of that is done. Not just paused, not just temporarily better, but completely finished as a chapter of your life. The World card is a door closing and a new one opening. You're not going to have to deal with this energy anymore. The universe is removing you from this whole situation on an energetic level. The World also represents your reputation being restored on a cosmic scale. Any damage these people tried to do to how others perceive you is being corrected. The World card has an element of public acknowledgement to it. Your name is being cleared, your character is being recognized, your achievements are being celebrated. The world doesn't do subtle vindication. It does total, complete, undeniable recognition of who you really are. I'm seeing with the World card that you're also about to experience a sense of wholeness and integration that you haven't felt in a long time, maybe ever. All the pieces of your life are coming together. All the lessons you've learned are clicking into place. All the experiences that seemed random or painful are suddenly making sense as part of your larger journey. The World represents that moment when you can finally see the big picture and understand why everything had to happen the way it did. The World card is also about freedom. The woman dancing in the card has nothing holding her down. She's not trapped by circumstances, by other people's opinions, by fear, by the past. She's free. After being under attack, after having to be defensive and protective, after dealing with people who wanted to control your narrative and limit your possibilities, the world is giving you total freedom. You can go anywhere from here. You can do anything. The whole world literally is open to you now. All right, Pisces, let me count up what we just went through, because the energy of this reading has been intense. We pulled 10 cards total, and I want to make sure you see the complete picture of what the universe showed us. We started with the 10 of Swords, showing the full extent of the betrayal and plotting against you. Then the 6 of Pentacles revealed karmic rebalancing and resources flowing back to rightful places. The 6 of Wands showed your public victory and recognition coming through. The 8 of Cups revealed the emptiness driving these people and their upcoming crisis of conscience. The Empress brought through abundance, creative power, and unstoppable growth in your life. The 9 of Swords exposed the mental torment these plotters are experiencing as karma catches them. The Page of Wands signaled new beginnings and messages of truth coming to light. The 4 of Wands promised celebration, stability, and true community gathering around you. The Page of Swords represented exposure, investigation, and truth being spoken with clarity. And finally, the world completed this reading with cosmic justice, total fulfillment, and the end of this entire chapter. So that's 10 cards, Pisces. 10 of Swords, 6 of Pentacles, 6 of Wands, Eight of Cups, Empress, Nine of Swords, Page of Wands, Four of Wands, Page of Swords, and the World. Each one building on the last to show you the complete story of what's happening in the spiritual realm around this situation. What really strikes me looking at this spread as a whole is the journey it shows. We start with betrayal at its worst with the Ten of Swords, but we don't stay there. Every single card after that is showing movement toward justice, restoration, abundance, and completion. The universe didn't just show me that you'd survive this. It showed me you'd transcend it completely. These people who came after you like ravenous wolves, who challenged God by trying to stop what the divine has planned for you, they've already lost. The cards made that crystal clear. And the thing is, Pisces, they lost the moment they decided to come after you. Not because you're special in some egotistical way, but because you're under divine protection, and they essentially declared war on that protection. The Six of Pentacles, the Empress, the World, these are cards of cosmic support, of the universe itself backing you. No human scheme can stand against that. They brought their little plots and lies and manipulations to a fight against universal law, against karma, against divine justice. They never had a chance. What I want you to really hear from this reading is that everything is already handled. You don't have to figure out how to get revenge. You don't have to plot counter moves. You don't have to defend yourself or prove anything. The Nine of Swords showed me they're already in their own hell. The Eight of Cups showed me their emptiness is catching up with them. The Page of Swords showed me truth is coming out. And the World showed me that on the cosmic level, this is already complete. Your job now is to step into the blessings the Empress, Six of Wands, and Four of Wands promised. Your job is to celebrate, create, and enjoy your life. I know as a Pisces, you might be tempted to feel sorry for these people when they start falling apart. You might see them struggling with their Nine of Swords torment and think, maybe I should help them. Maybe I should forgive and forget. Maybe I should give them another chance. And forgiveness is always a personal choice that you get to make on your own timeline. But what I'm hearing from these cards is that the universe is handling the justice part. You don't have to rescue people from the consequences of their own choices. The Eight of Cups showed me they have their own journey to walk, their own lessons to learn. You can have compassion for them as fellow humans while also maintaining your boundaries and letting karma do its work. The Page of Wands and Page of Swords appearing together tells me that information is going to keep coming to you over the next while. You might find out even more about what was said or done behind your back. You might learn who else was involved that you didn't suspect. You might discover the full extent of the plotting. When this information comes, it might hurt. It might be shocking. But the World card at the end promises that even these revelations are part of your completion and closure. You need to see the full truth so you can fully close this chapter and move forward without any lingering doubts or questions. The Six of Pentacles and Six of Wands combination is particularly powerful for your material world and your career or public life. If these people tried to sabotage you professionally, if they spread lies about your work, if they tried to block your opportunities, these two sixes are showing me that's all about to reverse dramatically. Opportunities they tried to block are opening. People they tried to turn against you are seeing through the lies. Recognition they tried to prevent is coming anyway. Money or resources they tried to keep from you are flowing to you. The sixes are about balance and harmony, and they're bringing that energy to the practical areas of your life. The Empress in the middle of this reading is so significant because she represents the part of you that was growing and creating even while under attack. These people thought they were stopping you, but the Empress doesn't stop. She just keeps nurturing, keeps creating, keeps growing. Whatever you've been building during this difficult time, whether it's a business, a skill, a relationship, a home, a creative project, or your own healing and self-development, the Empress says it's about to bloom in ways that shock everyone, including you. This is the fertility card. What you planted is about to yield an abundant harvest. The Four Wands cards in this spread, Page of Wands, Four of Wands, Six of Wands, and the Wands energy throughout. This is telling me about your passion, your creativity, your drive, your spirit. These people tried to break your spirit. They wanted you defeated, depressed, giving up. The wand's energy says your fire wasn't extinguished, it was just banked temporarily. And now it's about to roar back to life. You're going to feel inspired, energized, motivated, and passionate about your life and your path. That inner fire is going to burn away any remaining residue of their negativity. The two swords pages, 9 of Swords and 10 of Swords, show the mental battlefield this has been. Swords are thoughts, words, communication, mental energy. There's been a war happening in the realm of thoughts and words. What they said about you, what they thought about you, what they communicated to others, and then your own thoughts dealing with the betrayal. But notice how the Swords energy shifts through the reading. It starts with the 10 of Swords at maximum pain. Then we see the 9 of Swords showing their mental torment. And we end with the Page of Swords, which is mental clarity and truth. The mental fog is lifting. The confusion is clearing. You're going to see everything with sharp, clear perception now. Looking at the major arcana cards in your spread, we have the Empress and the World. Both of these are feminine energy cards. Both are about fullness and completion. Both carry incredible power. As a Pisces, you're already connected to feminine, intuitive, receptive energy. These major arcana cards are amplifying that. Your intuition has been trying to tell you things about these people, and you might have doubted yourself or given them the benefit of the doubt too many times. The Empress and World together are confirming that your intuition was right. Trust what you feel. Trust what you know in your gut. Your psychic senses as a Pisces are heightened right now, and they're not going to steer you wrong. The World as the final card cannot be emphasized enough. This is the ultimate completion card. It's the best possible ending to a difficult situation. It means you didn't just survive, you evolved. You didn't just win, you ascended to a new level entirely. These people are still playing the same games on the same level while you're graduating to a completely different plane of existence. They can't even reach you anymore, where you're going. The World represents you stepping into your full power, your full purpose, your full potential. This whole situation was the final test before your major breakthrough, and you passed. I want to talk about timing for a moment, because people always ask when things are going to happen. The cards don't give me exact dates, and honestly, that's by design because the universe knows exact dates create anxiety and attachment. But what I can tell you is that the energy of this reading feels imminent. The pages are messengers of things about to happen, not things far in the future. The World is completion, meaning we're at the end of the cycle, not the middle. The 6 of Wands is victory you can see and touch, not abstract future victory. Things are already in motion. You might already be noticing shifts. Pay attention to what's happening in your life right now, because the manifestation of this reading has already begun. Some of you Pisces are going to hear something in the next few days or weeks that confirms what these cards showed. Someone's going to reach out with information. Something's going to come to light publicly. You're going to get an opportunity or recognition that proves the 6 of Wands was right. Money or resources are going to come through that proves the 6 of Pentacles was accurate. Stay alert and pay attention, because the universe is going to keep validating this reading through real-world events. For those of you wondering what to do practically with this information, here's my guidance based on what the cards showed. First, protect your energy fiercely. The World card is closing this chapter, so don't keep it open by obsessing over these people or what they did. Second, focus on your creativity and growth like the Empress showed. Pour your energy into building, creating, nurturing what matters to you. Third, speak your truth when the time is right, like the Page of Swords indicated. Don't stay silent about what happened if speaking up serves your healing or protects others. Fourth, celebrate your wins like the 4 of Wands and 6 of Wands suggested. Don't downplay your success to make others comfortable. Fifth, trust the justice process like the 6 of Pentacles and 9 of Swords revealed. You don't have to make karma happen, it's already happening. One more thing I want to mention about the 10 of Swords at the beginning of this reading. Yes, it's a painful card. Yes, it represents betrayal at a deep level. But there's something about the 10 of Swords that people miss. It's the card of the dark night before the dawn. It represents hitting rock bottom, which means the only direction left is up. These people pushed you to your limit. They threw everything they had at you, and you're still here. You're still standing. You're still moving forward. That Ten of Swords moment is over. You survived the worst they could do. Now everything that follows is your comeback story. The Eight of Cups walking away imagery is also important for you personally, not just about them. You need to walk away from any remaining attachment to this situation. Walk away from the need to understand why they did what they did. Walk away from hoping they'll apologize or acknowledge the harm. Walk away from the energy of being a victim of their plotting. The Eight of Cups says, leave it behind and seek higher ground. You have a world card waiting for you. You have celebration and recognition and abundance waiting. Don't stay stuck processing the betrayal when your blessings are ready to arrive. I keep coming back to the Empress in this reading because her energy is so nurturing and motherly, and I feel like that's what you need right now, Pisces. You need to mother yourself through this transition. Be gentle with yourself as you process everything. Feed yourself good food, get enough rest, spend time in nature if you can. The Empress is earth energy, grounding energy. While all this mental swords drama was happening, you might have gotten ungrounded, scattered, anxious. The Empress is calling you back to your body, back to the physical world, back to simple pleasures and self-care. Nurture yourself the way you'd nurture someone you love who just went through something difficult. The 4 number in the Four of Wands is also speaking to me about foundation and structure. You might need to put some new structures in place to protect yourself going forward. Boundaries with people, standards for who gets access to you and your energy, criteria for who you trust with information about your life. The Four of Wands celebration is built on a solid foundation. Make sure your foundation is solid by learning from this experience and implementing what you learned. As I'm sitting with these 10 cards spread out, I'm seeing the story they tell as a hero's journey. You started in the dark moment of betrayal with the Ten of Swords. You received cosmic support and rebalancing with the Six of Pentacles. You achieved visible victory with the Six of Wands. You witnessed your enemy's inner collapse with the Eight of Cups and Nine of Swords. You stepped into your creative power with the Empress. You received messages and began new chapters with the Pages. You celebrated with community in the Four of Wands. And you completed the entire journey with the world. This is a complete arc from darkness to light, from victim to victor, from broken to whole. What these people meant for evil, the universe used for your development and elevation. That's what the World card at the end really represents. It's not just that you survived their attacks, it's that you were forged in that fire into someone stronger, wiser, more powerful than you were before. You had to learn certain lessons. You had to develop certain spiritual muscles. You had to shed certain illusions about people and life. And now you're complete in a way you weren't before. You're whole in a way you weren't before. You're ready for the next level in a way you weren't before. The ravenous wolves mentioned in your reading theme. These people came at you with teeth bared, ready to devour you and everything you've built. But what they didn't understand is that you're protected by something bigger than their hunger, their jealousy, their malice. The Empress doesn't fear wolves. The world doesn't bow to predators. You're operating under divine protection, and every card in this spread confirms that their attacks were futile from the beginning. When the theme said they challenge God, that's exactly what the Ten of Swords represented. They didn't just come after you as a person. They came after the blessings on your life, the destiny marked out for you, the path the universe set you on. And you can't win a fight against God. You can't plot against divine will and expect to succeed. The Nine of Swords is showing me their realization that they picked a fight they couldn't win. The Eight of Cups is showing me them walking away from the wreckage of their own choices. The Page of Swords is showing me truth exposing their actions. And the world is showing me the universe having the final word, and that word is victory for you. I want you to remember this reading, Pisces, when you're in moments of doubt, when you hear something else about what they said or did, when you feel the pain of the betrayal hitting you again, when you wonder if karma is really real or if bad people just get away with everything. Come back to these cards. The Ten of Swords promise the worst is over. The Six of Pentacles promised cosmic rebalancing. The Six of Wands promised public victory. The Eight of Cups promised their emptiness would consume them. The Empress promised your unstoppable growth. The Nine of Swords promised their mental torment. The Page of Wands promised new beginnings. The Four of Wands promised celebration and community. The Page of Swords promised truth and exposure. The World promised complete, total, undeniable cosmic justice and your graduation to the next level. This reading is not just prediction. It's promise. It's the universe making a commitment to you that justice will be served, you will be vindicated, you will be blessed, and you will move forward into better things than you've known before. These people who plotted behind your back are already being handled by forces they don't understand and can't fight. Your job is simply to keep moving forward, keep creating, keep growing, and get ready to receive the abundance and recognition that's coming your way. The number of Wands cards in this reading, 4 out of 10, tells me fire is the dominant element in your near future. Fire burns away what's no longer needed. Fire transforms. Fire energizes and activates. You're entering a fire season of your life where things move quickly, where passion returns, where creativity flows, where opportunities come rapidly. After the water and air of dealing with emotional pain and mental confusion from these attacks, fire is going to feel good. It's going to feel like finally things are moving again. Finally, I have energy again. Finally, I'm excited about life again. The Two Pentacles cards, Six of Pentacles, and the World, which has Pentacles symbolism in it, tell me your material world is being blessed. Money, job, home, physical health, tangible resources, these areas are all improving. The plotting might have been aimed at your reputation or your emotional well-being, but the universe is responding by blessing your physical reality. You're going to have more money, better opportunities, improved circumstances in the material world. This is strategic. When people try to tear you down, the universe builds you up in ways they can see and can't deny. As we close out this reading, I want to acknowledge that what you've been through is real, and it's been hard. The Ten of Swords doesn't show up for minor inconveniences. This has been a genuine betrayal, a real attack, a serious situation, and you're allowed to feel however you feel about it. Anger, sadness, disappointment, shock, all of it is valid. But what these cards are telling you is that you don't have to stay in that pain. The world is offering you completion and closure. The Empress is offering you abundant new growth. The Six of Wands is offering you victory and recognition. You can honor the pain of what happened while still stepping forward into the blessings that are waiting. These people are going to have to live with what they did. The Nine of Swords guarantees that. They're going to have to face themselves in the mirror, knowing they ganged up on someone who didn't deserve it. They're going to have to watch you succeed despite their efforts to stop you. They're going to have to experience the consequences of challenging divine will. And honestly, Pisces, that's going to be harder on them than anything you could do to them. The universe's justice is always more thorough and more fitting than human revenge could ever be. So here we are at the end of this reading. 10 cards, one powerful message. You won. You're winning. You're going to keep winning. They lost. They're losing. They're going to keep losing. Not because you curse them or wish them harm, but because that's what happens when you operate from malice instead of love, from scarcity instead of abundance, from darkness instead of light. The universe has laws, and those laws are being enforced in your situation right now. Walk forward with your head high, Pisces. The World card says you've earned this victory. The Empress says you've earned this abundance. The Six of Wands says you've earned this recognition. You didn't just survive wolves, you transcended them entirely. And that's the real victory.